Hello all, welcome to another Apex webinar for the RMS system. My name's Shishi. I'm one of the newer members of the support team, and today I have Mark with me, and he will be fielding any questions that you submit along the way.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Mark Madrick, and I deal with a lot of the customer-to-customer stuff for Apex. So back over to you, Shishi, off you go.
Perfect. Today we're going to explore how RMS makes managing your staff, documents and schedules simpler through the HR module and the employee portal. Whether it's sorting out rotas, onboarding new team members, keeping up with policies, or making sure everyone's in the loop, this module helps to tie it all together. What we'll be covering. Here's what we'll be going through today, from managing employees in RMS to uploading policies, tracking acknowledgements, and building shift patterns. The HR module in RMS is a central hub. Everything from onboarding to compliance kind of resides here. It covers onboarding new staff, storing workers' records, tracking holidays and certificates, managing training, linking rotas, and document access with the online portal. The HR function does run in the background on RMS and should really only be accessed by staff that have a genuine reason for that access. This is set up in the system user section within the user roles area. Once you have created either a system user, a driver, or workshop technician, the system will automatically create an employee record in HR. Let's begin with the Manage Employees area. This is the dashboard of the HR module. This is where all employee records live, including system users, drivers, and workshop technicians. You can also put other workers in there that don't use RMS. If we take a deeper look at the Manage Employees area, this is really the central hub for managing all the staff across your organization within RMS. It is also the opening page within the HR module. As you can see, we get a full list of employees here. From here, you can filter by site, employment status, and either name, email, and phone number in the search box on the right, which is useful if you're looking for a very specific employee. If we click into a staff member's profile, we get to see all their key information sections. This is where you add in the work email and PIN for the employee portal setup. The opening page includes things like their personal details, contact details, employment status and job title, and things like emergency contact information, start date, and pay-as-you-earn details can be found under employment details right here. It is good practice to make sure that all of these records are accurate and kept up to date. You can also store things like any type of license details, expiry dates for them, training history, or any custom certifications needed, and RMS keeps track of expiry dates for you, so you can be alerted in advance before anything becomes non-compliant. The system can also dynamically track employee status, so for example, who's active or not active. If someone leaves the business, you don't need to delete their data. You can simply archive them and restore later if needed. And when it comes to compliance, RMS can help you stay ahead by tracking certificates and document expiry dates automatically, such as things like training and health and safety. To sum up this area, the Manage Employees section gives you full control and visibility over your entire team, from keeping staff records up to date to assigning portal permissions, storing documents. Everything connects from here. This is the central place where staff profiles are created, updated, and connected to everything else in RMS. Next up is the Policies and Procedures area, where you can store, manage, and track all documents that your employee needs access to, like HR policies, safety manuals, training guides, or company handbooks. Think of it like a digital filing cabinet, but a little smarter. When you upload a document, you decide where it belongs, what it's called, and whether staff need to acknowledge reading it. You can also set expiry dates, so you're alerted before the document goes out of date. When you upload a document, you get full control over who sees it, whether that's everyone, or just specific workers. You can also require certain documents to be acknowledged. Now I will walk you through the upload process for documents and show how it keeps it compliant. If you give the document a name, make sure it's filed under the right company, especially if you have more than one on your system, and category. Categories can be set up in the setup menu over here. And set the version number so you always know when you're working with the latest version. Then you add a short summary to explain what the document's about, set an expiry date to aid in reminding you when it needs updating, and then upload a file. Once that's done, you can choose which employees will be able to view it and whether you want an acknowledgement for them viewing it. These are the different options for visibility and an example of what they would be good for. So not visible cannot be seen by anyone. It would just be sitting in documents waiting to be released. Visible to all, it will come up on everyone's portal and can be viewed by all. This is good for company updates. Visible to all and requires acknowledgement is good for new disciplinary notices where you need to know when everyone has seen it. Visible to specific employees is particularly good for training certificates. And finally, visible to specific employees and requires acknowledgement is really good for notifications for things like terms and conditions. When you've done all these, remember to click save, otherwise it won't save. Anyway, moving on to the view acknowledgements area. Once documents have been shared, you can track exactly who has viewed them and acknowledged them if required. This is especially useful for compliance, policies, and also safety critical documents. You can view by employee, document, or company up top here. So in summary, the policies and procedure area lets you upload, manage, track, and control access to all important company documents, saving loads of times and keeping your organization compliant. Anyway, let's move on to rota management, one of the most powerful and time-saving parts of the HR module. Instead of manually creating schedules every week, RMS lets you build reusable rota templates and apply them with just a few clicks, no matter how large or complex your team is. There are three main sections to rota management: edit work rota, where we can make daily adjustments; set up rota patterns, where we create templates; and assign rota patterns, where we assign patterns to staff. Let's start at the beginning and set up a rota pattern. This is where you build your shift templates, or what RMS calls rota patterns. Think of these as reusable weekly or monthly schedules you can apply over and over again. For example, if you run a 4-on-4-off shift pattern or have separate rotas for drivers, workshop techs, or office staff, you only need to set them up once. Each pattern is built row by row and assigned to specific roles or staff types, so you can visually see how it will apply across your team. You can create as many patterns as you need, and there's no limit. Once they're created, they appear in a drop-down, ready to assign. I'm going to quickly show you a really simple 4-on-4-off rota with a 4-on-4-off set of shifts. First, we'll name it. I'm going to be simple and call this one 4-on-4-off. Let's do it starting at 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. and then add. And then to duplicate the previous day, you can just press copy last day. I'll do that 4 times. You can, and to replicate the 4 off, you can add some empty rota days. Then once you're happy with how it looks, you can apply the rota. Of course, remember to save. When you go to the screen straight from the menu, it won't pre-populate with the rota pattern you just made. You will need to choose the pattern you want first. And then the date range. I'll do this one from 1st of November to say 31st of December. Select the staff. You can do this by employee group, employee type. I'll do this for our drivers. You can add all drivers over here, as you can see. The system will then populate the rota for those employees over the selected period. If you're running rolling shifts, you can adjust which part of the pattern applies depending on where they are in the cycle. Okay. Now for the day-to-day view. This is where reality meets the plan. Even with perfect templates, life happens. Workers request time off, someone's off sick, or shifts need changing last minute. The Edit Work Rota section lets you adjust shifts on the fly. Just open any day or employee, and RMS takes care of the rest. All changes push through to the employee portal, so nobody is left in the dark. Let's change Thursday the 13th for myself. I'm off. Now I'm on. Specific permission is required for this, and that can be found in roles and permission under HR manager and then manage work rota. To sum this part up, set up rota patterns can help you build reusable schedules. Apply rota patterns, put those templates to work across your team. Edit work rota lets you fine-tune on a day-to-day basis. With all these three working together, it saves hours every week and makes rota planning reliable, scalable, and accessible for everyone, from managers to team members via the employee portal. What is the employee portal? The employee portal is where all this comes together. It's how your employees access rotas, policies, holidays, and scope documents, all synced within the HR module in one place. It's accessible through a driver's and workshop technician's PDA app, the side menu in RMS, and a direct web link on desktop. All they need for their individual login is either a work email address or work phone number. If they don't have one or use shared phones, put their personal number in the company phone number field and a unique PIN number in their HR record. To wrap this up, all these tools work together to make life simpler. You don't have to chase paperwork, worry about missed rota changes, or hunt down lost files. RMS keeps everything organized and easy to manage for you. Now we will move on to the Q&A. If anyone has any questions, now is the time to ask.
Hello, we've had a couple of questions come in. The multiple email addresses within the one profile, you can do that by adding a semicolon at the end of the email address and a space, then add the next email address and so on until you've filled up your bits and pieces there with that. We've had a question as well about PIN numbers. What's the best way to do PIN numbers? The best way is to have a clear idea of what you don't want people to have. That would be things like 1, 2, 3, 4, or their birthday or year of birth, or something that's easily guessable to keep you within GDPR compliance. It should really be given to you by the worker and added in their profile. And it's easier if you use the same PIN number for their driver or workshop app as you do for the employee portal and the clocking function. So that does that fairly easily. We've had a question about adding shift patterns after midnight. If the shift starts at 1800 and finishes at 0600 the next morning, you simply add in 1800 and then 0600 the next day, and that should cover across both. Just a quick message for Sharon. You know who you are. You would probably be much better off, as you've got a few questions on there, giving the support team a ring and they can run through them one by one on there, because they are pretty specific and very, very relevant points, but it would probably be easier to do that with you on a one-to-one session. So if you want to call the support team, any one of the team there will give you a hand. Sorry, back to you, Shishi.
Uh, Thank you for attending today's webinar. I hope you found it useful and look forward to seeing you on the next one. That will be based around fleet management, and you will receive an email invite to confirm the date soon. We would also really like to get some feedback on this webinar, so please let us know what you thought. Thank you all.